beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations, and I'm Nova, and I'm so glad to see you today. Welcome back if this is not your first time here, and thank you for joining me, my Gnomie. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy yourself. You feel comfy and cozy and safe, and you hit that subscribe button and maybe check out some of my other videos. I post every day, so I have lots of content. Almost all of it is yarny, almost all of it is crochet, but I do sprinkle in a little bit of slice of life content, vlog style and montage style. And then yesterday I colored. I had a coloring colored in a stocking that someone sent that was gnome themed, and I thought it was just too cute for the channel, or too cute that I had to put it on the channel, not too cute for the channel. So we do a little bit of everything, but primarily yarny content. So if that sounds like it's something that you would be interested in, and you want a warm, cozy environment where we try to be positive and uplifting and all that good stuff, hit that subscribe button, check out my videos, talk in the comments. Everybody is super accepting, super nice. I have the best community I have ever seen. Not kidding, not just saying that. Read my comments on some of my videos and you will see what I mean. I have very sweet and positive and encouraging and just good people in my community. So if that sounds like somewhere you would like to be, why don't you check it out? All right, so what am I working on today? Well, you know, when you have a bunch of whips, do you work on the whips or do you start something new? Yeah, you should work on the whips, but I started something new. So, some of you guys may have seen before, quite some time ago, that I made this little dude. And this guy is a little video game character from a game called Hollow Knight, which is an indie game, which basically just means a game from a small company, not like a big developer company that does like a ton of games. It's usually like they do like one game, like that's the thing that they made. So basically you're supporting a person when you buy the game. Well, this game, Hollow Knight, is one of my hubby's favorite games. And it has hit off really big, actually recently, or, for a while now. So it's an indie game that kind of went viral, and a lot of people play it. So this little guy is actually a beetle. He's like a beetle skeleton, kind of. And this is his little weapon that he uses to fight with. And I just want to show you the detail on his little cape. His little cape was such a pain in the booty to make. But it is super cute, and he does have little arms under here. So I made this guy a little while ago, or quite a while ago, I should say. And I really kind of struggled with the pattern when I was making it. There were some things in there that I hadn't done before. It was a little bit complicated. You work these pieces in parts and then you connect them together. You work the legs in parts and then you connect those together, which I had done the legs in parts before, so that one thankfully wasn't new to me, but this part can be a bit complicating. This cape was really complicating and confusing to me when I did it. And then also I made this in a DK weight yarn, or a sport weight yarn, and I don't typically use sport weight yarns. When I do my amigurumi, I usually use worsted weight yarn. So this was a bit earlier on in my amigurumi journey. I actually don't remember when I made this, but I feel like it was pretty early on in my amigurumi journey, aka in my crochet journey. And so I did struggle with it. And I remember I really didn't like it. I didn't like making it, but I did love how it came out. And I was very proud of it, and I'm still really proud of it. And look how tiny he is. You guys see how tiny his body is compared to my hand? So, obviously he's not perfect because I did struggle with him. His, I wonder what these are called. You know what? Give me 1 second. Let me check what the pattern calls them. Horns? Yes, horns. So his horns actually came out really different looking. I did my best to make them look like they didn't when I did them. You put metal in them, or you put wire in them, and this was also the first pattern I did that in. So there was a lot of firsts in this pattern. This was the first time I worked from a chain, and then you work all the way around the chain. I had never done that before, which I've done it several times now, but at the time I hadn't done it before. And so I was really confused when I was reading the pattern, and they wanted me to go around. I was like very confused. The stitch counts didn't add up to me because I wasn't thinking to work around it. So basically it was a bit chaotic, and ever since I made it, I've wanted to make a bigger one because I like big plushies. I like little plushies, like really little plushies, and I like big plushies. So I've been wanting to make a bigger one, and I was like, suddenly got the inspiration, or like the feeling. I was like, I really want to try making that again to see how I feel about the pattern now, because I realized I was like maybe a little bit judgmental, not like in a mean way, but like in a I don't like the way this pattern is written, or I'm struggling with this pattern kind of way. But it was actually more due to my own inexperience. So I was like, I really want to try that again and use a worsted weight yarn so I can make him a bigger one, and also see if I can challenge myself to try to make it look nicer this time. Maybe the horns come out right, and just like, at the very least, it come out, it be easier to work up. So I am really happy with how he came out. And I don't know that he'll look better when I redo him, but I wanted to see if he was easier and if I understood the pattern more. Like, just to test how much I've grown, I guess. So I started working on that, and actually I shouldn't put him aside yet. One of the things I could definitely do to do better on is the way that I sewed. I guess it would be the way I sewed his head on. That seems like it shouldn't be the way to say that. You can see quite a bit, but he has like a pretty floppy head, so if it flops forward you don't see it. But yeah, so it was not one of my better head attachments. But anyway, I started working on him, and I finished his head, not the horns. I'm working on the horns right now. But look how much bigger in a worsted weight yarn. I can't wait to see how big this comes out. And so far, I was right about experience helping me a lot. The head, I had absolutely zero problems with. And I am currently working on the horns, and while still being a little bit tedious, because I think everyone can relate to this, when you're working with something kind of small and in a little area, like these pieces especially, and then attaching them together and having to work around it, it can get a little bit tight. You're trying to work in a small area, and that can be a bit tedious. But I think I did a much better job of attaching these together. And in the pattern, they actually tell you to mark, there's 3 stitches that you attach together, and they say to like write on them with like pen. And in the drawing, they wrote on them with red pen. So I did that on my first one, and I had the issue of it. They said, don't worry about it, it'll be covered when you connect them. But I had the issue of, and I'm not sure how much you'll see it, but you can see like a little bit of a red pinky kind of color coming through. I struggled to hide that ink pen. So this time I didn't do an ink pen. I actually used stitch markers to mark those 3 stitches on both of them. And sure, they're bulky and they're in the way a little bit, but I didn't want the color to show through because I'm using white yarn. Like that, for me, that kind of ruins it if it shows through. So I have another stitch marker inside of here, which you may see, and I actually have that attached at a random point. It used to be the row I was on, but I just left it. And it's actually to hold this stabilized right now because it's barely held in at all right now. I curled the end of it so that it's not pointy and not going to stab through. And then I wrapped it really well in polyfill, and I put that in there. I'm not sure how well you can see that. And then I'm going to stuff it as I go, because that was one thing that the pattern actually doesn't have you stuff this or put your wire in until you're done making everything and you get to the assembly part. But I actually think from other experience of doing other patterns, it would be better to stuff as I go and work around my wire, because it's actually really hard to push wire down into a project without bending the wire. At least the wire I have, this wire bends very easily. It's very, like, if you try to push on it, you're just going to bend it. So to stuff it and put the wire in, I found it very difficult to do when I made my first one. So this time I'm trying to do it a little bit different. I'm going to stuff as I go and work around my wire. So I just cut what will probably be too long, but possibly be about what I need. But I wanted to err on the side of caution. So it's probably a little too long, and I figured that'll be great. A little too long, I can trim that. And I just cut it off, and I actually made them the exact same length. So I've got the other one for when I get to that. But yeah, that's what I've got going on. And I'm still working on all my other things that you guys already know about if you aren't new here. But here is my head. And I am very happy with that. And like I said, so much easier this time, not being new. And one of the things that I did, there's a hair, like a cat hair up here, kind of stuck in the fabric of the yarn. Come off. There we go. One of the things that I did was when working this, when I had gotten a little ways out, I actually stopped and sewed a little bit, because I find when I'm working on a chain and then going around, the very middle can get a little bit gappy, and I didn't want to leave it gappy. So just personal preference, I stopped and kind of sewed it up a little bit. And that's how my head is looking, and I've got it all stuffed and mostly closed. This is as much as you close it, and then you attach it to the body at that part. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this. I'm really curious when I get to the cape, how hard the cape is going to be, because I remember thinking the cape was just so tedious, and I was like, you better love me for doing this cape. This cape, I feel like it's overcomplicated and doesn't need to be this complicated. Like, I felt like it could have been done a lot more simple, and maybe it wouldn't have looked quite as nice, but it was like such a pain that I just didn't know if it was really worth it. But I'm excited to see if I've changed my opinion on that now that I have more experience, because it really is super interesting to go back and do a pattern that you struggled with after you have more experience with those types of techniques that were used. So I definitely struggled way less with this horn. So it will remain to be seen if my second horn looks the same, because like I said, that was a big issue I had with that one, was my horns came out totally different sizes. And I tried so hard to keep count of my stitches and stuff, but when it came with the horns, I don't know what happened, but they came out totally different sizes and like not even really shaped the same. So I had to really fudge it. So I'm excited to see if I can actually make them come out the same size this time. So that's what I'm working on today, and I am happy it is the weekend. What are you guys getting up to this weekend, and are you working on anything fun? Also, have you ever gone back and done a pattern that you really struggled with further into your crochet journey, just to see if it comes out like better, or you can do it more easily and you're like, wow, why did I struggle so much with this? Like, my inexperience was showing. I am really curious. I'm so sorry about my cat. I am really curious if anyone else has done that. And like I said, it remains to be seen. I'm not that far into the pattern. I may get into it and be like, nope, it's still a piece of work to do. But so far I'm feeling pretty good about it, and I'm really thinking it's going to come out better. Link, do you want to say hi? I think Link wants to say hi to his adoring fans. Yeah? What? Come here. I have a dog partially climbing me and a Link partially climbing the chair. Come here, Link. Come here. Hi. My dog is like, I am ready to come say hi. Hi, baby girl. Are you a good girl? Anyway, Link says hi to his adoring fans. I'm trying to pet him just by seeing in the camera what he's doing. I don't think you guys can see my dog. Oh, you can see her little tootsie. Lincoln, stop clawing up my chair. Anyways, guys, I will let you go. Let me know what you guys are working on, and I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. Love you all, and I will see you later. Bye!